All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about a tool from Google called NotebookLM, and it's pretty different. See, it's not just another chatbot. It's designed to be a personal AI research assistant, and we're about to break down exactly what makes that such a big deal.
Okay, so let's just tackle this head on, because this is the question I get constantly. Someone sees NotebookLM and they're like, wait a minute, isn't this just ChatGPT with a different logo? And you know what? I get it. It looks like a familiar chat window. So what's the secret? Why on earth would you use this thing? That's the core question, and we're going to unpack it right now.
To really get to the bottom of this, you just need to understand one single core idea, and that is the difference between a specialist and a generalist. Seriously, once this one thing clicks for you, the whole concept of NotebookLM just makes perfect sense. And here it is. This is the whole shebang in a nutshell. Think about it. A generalist AI, your standard chatbot, is like talking to someone who's kind of read, well, pretty much the entire internet. They know a little something about everything. But NotebookLM, that's the specialist. It's like you hired this genius-level research assistant, but their entire world, everything they know, is limited to only the documents you handed them. They become an absolute, undeniable expert on your stuff and nothing else. And that one little distinction, that's where all the magic happens.
Okay, so what? Why is being this super focused specialist such a big deal? Well, it turns out it's a total game changer, and it's all because it solves one of the most annoying and frankly riskiest problems with AI right now, its habit of just making stuff up.
The secret sauce here has a name. It's called source-grounded reasoning. Now, don't let the fancy term fool you. It's actually super simple. It just means the AI's knowledge is grounded in or locked into the specific sources you give it. So if you feed it your class notes, it becomes an expert on your class notes. If you give it project files, that's its entire universe. It doesn't get distracted by random facts from the internet. And the results of being anchored like this? A huge, massive drop in what we call AI hallucinations. That's the official term for when an AI just lies to you with complete confidence. Since NotebookLM has to base its answers on your documents, the chance of it just inventing facts out of thin air goes way, way down. So how do you know you can trust it? Well, that's built right in. Check this out. Every single answer it gives you has these little citations, these little numbers that link you back to the exact spot in your original document. So you can fact check it instantly. And here's the best part. If the answer isn't in the documents you gave it, it just tells you. It'll say, sorry, I can't find that in your sources. It doesn't guess. And believe me, in the world of AI, an AI that knows how to say I don't know is an absolutely critical feature.
Okay, so the theory makes sense, right? Specialist, not a generalist. Grounded in your sources. But what's it actually like to use the thing? Let's take a quick peek under the hood and see how it all comes together. First things first, you start by making what's called a notebook, and really just think of it as a separate folder or project space. So all your research for your history paper stays in one place, totally separate from your notes for a work project. It keeps everything neat, tidy, and focused. Then comes the fun part. You start adding your sources. And you can throw a ton of different things in here, up to 50 per notebook. We're talking PDFs, Google Docs, links to websites. You can even drop in a YouTube video and it'll work off the transcript. Or, hey, you can just copy and paste a chunk of text. It's super flexible. All right, so your stuff is loaded up. Now you just chat with it. You can ask it anything you want about those documents. And what's really cool is that it doesn't just sit there waiting for you. It actually suggests questions to get you started, which is a lifesaver when you're staring at a big pile of research and don't even know where to begin. But it's not just about asking questions and getting answers. This is where it gets kind of wild. NotebookLM actually helps you think about your material in new ways. With just one click, it can automatically create a study guide from your notes, or an FAQ, or a professional briefing document. If your sources have dates, it'll build you a timeline. And maybe the craziest feature of all, it can generate a little podcast-style conversation about your documents so you can literally listen to a summary of your research while you're on a walk. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, it's powerful, no doubt about it. But the big question is it the right tool for you? To help you figure that out, let's take a quick look at where this tool came from, who it's really built for, and just as importantly, what it can't do. And just so you know, this isn't some fly-by-night experiment that Google is going to shut down in 6 months. It's actually been around for a bit. It started as something called Project Tailwind back in 2023. It's since grown up into a real stable product. There's a free version that's super capable and also a paid plus tier for people who need even more power. So who should actually be using this?
Well, honestly, it's for anyone who needs to really dig in and understand a specific set of documents. Are you a student? Perfect for turning messy notes into a clean study guide. A writer? Imagine dropping in hours of interview transcripts and asking it to pull out the main themes. A professional? You could upload a 100-page report and get a summary just before a big meeting. Basically, if your work involves becoming an expert on a specific pile of information, this thing is probably for you. But let's be real, no tool is perfect, and it's super important to know the limitations. First, you're in Google's world. You're using their Gemini model. You can't switch it out. Second, you have that 50 source limit per notebook, which might be a pain for huge projects. Third, this is a solo mission. It's not built for team collaboration. It also doesn't connect to other apps you might use like Slack or Notion. And finally, and this is the big one, it's still an AI. It can make mistakes. You always have to check its work. Think of it as a really smart assistant, not a substitute for your own brain.
So let's bring it all home, back to that very first idea we talked about, the generalist AIs. They're trying to answer any question in the world using the entire internet. But a specialist AI like NotebookLM, it just wants to answer your questions using your information. It's a fundamental shift, right? From a massive, kind of unknowable ocean of data to your own personal, verifiable pool of expertise. Which leaves just one question, really. What are you going to ask first?